Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we currently have these 6 units that need to be put somewhere, and for now, we'll put them in our overflow theater, but I'm going to cut our recruitment again. So we're going to take this down to 5, 4, 3, and I'm going to take this down to 2. We're not losing many units at this point. We don't need a lot of replacement units, and we need manpower. So we're going to do that for now. Speaking of manpower, we need to get a core going, and we're going to do exactly that. So that core is underway, and then I do want to get more prospecting for resources done if we can after that, but that's not available yet. So for now, let's just work on our war support. Not like we're going to get positive on that, but we can at least make some progress on it. So that seems absolutely fine for now. Now, we're currently attacking down here in South America as much as we can, and that's absolutely understood. Now, I want to change the way that this is done a little bit here. So I want to grab these guys and move their front line to be up to about here. And that's approximately half and half, so we'll go ahead and accept that for now. Okay, next up, we've got this area out over here. And we're making progress, no doubt about that, so we'll just let that continue for the time being. So that's looking fine for right now. As far as this up here goes, are we aggressively attacking this, or is this a standard attack? What army group is this? That's this army group? Okay, this is a standard attack. So that sounds relatively good. But we're struggling to make our way in over here. That's not terribly surprising. One thing we could do is we could launch a naval invasion to, like, up over here. And that would allow us to drive a wedge between their main capital and this point out over here. However, if we did that, it'd be risky because we would not have any supply flow and we'd have to hold here. So for now, we'll keep that in our back pocket as an idea, but I don't know that we want to exactly do that right now. Now I want to check on this. Okay, we've got some time before we can actually execute that. So that sounds good for now. Let's just finish up our attacks over here in Africa for the moment. If we can cut them off over here, that would be a very big deal. Now, what's the supply situation over here looking like? Okay, that is absolutely noted. Oh, 3 additional military units here. Okay, cool. So we'll let that get going. And what exactly are these belonging to? Huh.
Hey, come out.
Where are these guys supposed to be? Ah, this is all part of this. Okay, that makes sense then, why they're just kind of idling down there. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not concerned about that at this point then. I am noticing that this is a potential opportunity here. No, it's not. I was seeing this here and I was thinking that that was a province border. It's not. So that doesn't actually help us. Never mind. We'll not do that. Okay, so we're just slowly working on pushing in here. They have a lot of units here, but we're absolutely whittling them down. So that looks good for now. We are just holding in Europe, and as far as Denmark goes, we have some ideas on how we want to break that open. But it's this over here that we really want to work on. So they've got Rio Branco over here. Do they have other victory points? They've got Porto Velho. That's not going to give them much for supplies. So overall, there's not many supplies here. I would absolutely love to take this area or just cut them off over here. That would work very well as well. Now, we're having a supply issue out over here, and that's not terribly surprising. I'm going to build a supply hub right here, and we'll just connect that in like so. But that's going to be a while before that gets built. While we're at it, I'm also going to put one in down here, and we'll just make sure that that gets connected in. Okay, there we go. So that will help our supply situation down over here considerably, but it's from the south that we should really be attacking here. So what I would love to see is a successful attack right here. We'll see how that goes. You guys can join this attack. And there's some tanks down here as well that could join the attack. Let's see how that goes. Okay, it's not going tremendously well, but we'll work on whittling down their supply count a little bit anyway. So that seems okay. As far as the rest of all of this goes, well, I'm currently wondering what would happen if we were able to isolate Montevideo. That would be interesting for sure. But I don't think that's going to work. I'm just going to order that attack for now as a bit of a probe, but I don't expect anything to come of that. So that seems okay for the moment. Supplies up here would be very good, but as of right now, that's not really a thing. We're pretty repeatedly attacking right up over here, and I do like that. So that looks good. If we can compress this front line a little bit, is that a good thing or a bad thing for us over here? I actually don't know. I think it's probably a good thing because it will help out supplies out over here, because there will be a more direct path for supplies to travel. I would think. But we are going to definitely compress that down, and that looks good for the moment. So manpower is absolutely a very significant concern. Oh, I forgot to mention, after last episode, I switched this fleet over to convoy raiding. These two fleets out here are still on patrol in order to try to stop naval fleets from making their way in over here. But we are taking down a bunch of convoys that are passing through this area, trying to resupply here and here. Wait, these guys are attacking. I don't recall ordering that, but okay. They're not succeeding in this attack exactly. It's kind of close, though. Emphasis on kinda, but yeah, it's kind of close. If we could take Kerch, that would be huge. But I don't think we're going to. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're not going to here. But this is still a very interesting attack that we've got going on here. Very interesting indeed. We almost made it in here. If we had succeeded on that, that would have broken open this entire front. Let's try it again here in a little bit. So we'll start working on that, and that's absolutely A-okay for right now. So that all looks good. As far as this goes, I definitely think that we should be thinking about a naval invasion. I'm going to grab some of these units that are up over here. These are part of multiple armies. Okay, let's grab this army here. I'm going to grab... Actually, I'm going to go with 6 of them. I think these areas here are undefended. So we're going to start planning a naval invasion from here to here and here, like that. And we'll assign 6 divisions there. So that'll be fine, and then we'll launch that eventually, but we'll need the naval supremacy up over here. We could almost certainly just make a new fleet here, right? Yeah, we definitely could. So I want to select half of this, and then like half of that, and then like half of that. And then we'll assign this to a new fleet here. This is still a ridiculous number. Okay, right, because that's how that works. Okay, I want to bring this down to like 20-ish. We'll call this like 40, and then we'll call this like 80. Okay, something like that. And then we have too many here, so will they automatically split off? Yes, they will. Perfect. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to have these guys be on patrol right up over here. So they're going to move up into that region and get us some naval supremacy over there so that we can actually perform this naval invasion. And we'll see if we're able to hold these 2 positions. Tunisia just capitulated. That's a big deal. Well, we're not fully cleaned up here, but we did take Tunis. That's still a huge, huge deal. Everybody over here, just get in here. Clean this up. Similarly, everybody up here, get in here. Clean this up. We don't seem very interested, to be honest. I want to grab these up over here and tell them that they are offensive lining like this, and they can get going on that. And we'll just whittle that down. And then we'll do the same thing over here. They do have a little bit of supply flow. It's not much. There's a level 8 naval base up over here. So there's some there for sure. But over on this side, all they've got is this single victory point. So we should be able to bring this down pretty easily over on this side. That looks good. I want you guys in here right now. Okay, so that's all underway. Our manpower is grim. Oh, we got pushed back over here again. Once again, this is a good thing. So we're actually happy about this. We're able to more easily exhaust their supplies from here. So that seems absolutely great. When are these guys going to be eligible to launch their attack again? Well, not for a while. So that's understood. We are continuing to sink a bunch of convoys out over in this area. And we're very close to collapsing this front up over here, it looks like. That's excellent. So with Tunisia finally falling, that's going to be a very big deal. Like, an incredibly, unspeakably big deal. Because this is going to allow us to open another front down over here, which we're going to be very delighted to do. So that's all good. We are, of course, going to be crushing this up over here relatively soon-ish, once these guys make their way on up. They're almost ready to launch this. Is our Navy in place yet? No. So I'm not sure where this Navy is right now. It's probably going to take them a while to get there, and that's okay. So we'll continue to press in over here in North Africa. We've almost finished up the African campaign at this point. Autosave is occurring. I want to check in on South America. Okay. So this is going kind of slowly. But if we can take this position, that is a huge deal. We're fairly close. Yeah, we are fairly close here. I think we just keep whittling that down. That's fine. Looks like we've made a little bit of progress on pushing into Brazil. That's a very good thing as well. Down over this direction, we really just need forces to get redirected from up here. So that's mostly what we're waiting on. So up over this way, we've collapsed this pocket. All of our forces are now focused on the one remaining pocket over here, and they have very few supplies. There's almost nothing that they can do here. So that looks absolutely great. That said, our supplies are not fantastic over here either. We do need to keep that in mind, but that's understood. So we're going to need to start up a... This is a level 10 naval base here. We're going to need to start up a planned invasion out over this way, and we'll get there soon enough. Is our navy up here yet? No. Where is this fleet? Oh, they're very close. Okay, so they will be here very shortly. They're moving, right? Our fleet does not have access to this region. Okay. We should be able to get on this side of it, though. Right? We were able to before. That's interesting. Well, just by taking this position, we can cut off any supply flow and any reinforcements over to here. So there is that. We could just have these guys be on naval invasion support, though. Yeah, we should be able to get on this side of it to get our naval strength, right? I would think so. But maybe not. That's not the case. I'm assuming these guys are not going to be eligible to launch then because we don't have the naval supremacy in this region. And yeah, that's absolutely the case. Okay. So with that in mind, that might change how we're going to play this then. We can certainly go on to convoy raiding up over here and work on taking down any convoys that are attempting to enter the Baltic Sea. So that's an option. I I want to check down over here. We push them back across the strait. That's very expected. So these guys out over here, they are currently at 41 out of 52 days. Okay. I'm going to probably move one of these fleets over to naval invasion support. But that's not going to happen until we are basically ready to launch this. But we are catching a lot of convoys out over this way, and that's a very big deal. So that seems good. Out over this direction, we are still making some gains. In fact, we're doing very well out over here. Excellent. So just continue to work on that. Manpower is still very grim. Manpower is absolutely a major concern for us, and we've stopped making progress over here. Which tells me that we've got some problems. Those problems partially are the supplies up here in the north. In fact, I think that's a pretty major source of our problems. How long until we get these hubs done? Oh, they're literally finishing right now. Okay, beautiful. So that's going to give us a lot more supply right up over here. Excellent. So we'll get that going. Our supplies will be substantially improved up in the north, and that should make it a lot easier for us to dislodge these. One thing I'm wondering, all those off-map civilian factories that we gave them in exchange for all that land, are they able to exchange those for military factories? Because that would explain a lot about what's going on in, like, this situation. Because they do have a capital here. I don't know. That's interesting, for sure. Well, we're going to continue to work on our South American campaigns here. We're actually making some progress up here, potentially, and that would be intriguing, for sure. We're going to get these guys pushed back, and this is looking absolutely fine. So I'm going to grab this offensive line and delete it. This is no longer relevant. We're now going to have this be our offensive line, and we'll execute that. Are we aggressively attacking? We are. Let's balanced attack. Okay, so there we go. That should be fine. And they're going to have nowhere to retreat to very, very soon here. Autosave is occurring. It is now done. Okay, so that seems good. They definitely have some defenses in some of these ports, but not in others, it seems. And they're not strong defenses. We don't have intel down over here necessarily, but that's good to know. So we are working on getting these convoys taken down, but again, Copenhagen is a capital, and that's absolutely understood. So this is going to be potentially awkward out over here. Now out this direction, we're still doing fairly well out here, but they just keep reshuffling their troops here, and that's just kind of a permanent thing. Now, our Marines launched their attack again. And I didn't intend for them to do this, because I wanted one of these guys to be on naval invasion support. We'll try to get over there in time to help them out. And it looks like we are over here at this point. This is very close, again. But it just isn't quite happening. So this entire area is within this sea zone, right? We can't get into here except with submarines. Submarines. Right. We could have this be an exclusively submarine fleet in order to launch this. Like that. So they then leave, and we go to naval invasion support only over here. Like that. That will allow us to launch this. And we're now launching. So let's see how this goes. This is going to be spicy. But they're just kind of allowing it for right now. Okay, so we've taken this position. What we want to do now is we want to immediately begin construction of naval bases on both of these locations. Then what we want to do is we want to move one of these units out over this way, like this. While these two units, we can delete this naval invasion. These two units are going to frontline right up over here, like that. I also want to build up land forts on both of these locations. Perfect. This unit is going to frontline out over here, but also they're going to just make their way out like this. And I'm not sure if there's any units here. It kind of looks like there isn't. So we've got some forces in the back line here. And that will help us until such a time as they realize this and start attacking us anyway. So that's absolutely noted. For the moment, they don't seem too concerned. Okay, now they're trying to attack us right up over here. But we're holding. Okay, stop attacking. So now what we need to do is we need to build land forts here, here, and here. Get all of that land forted right on up, like so. And then we'll just chill here for the moment. And the question is, when are we going to get these completed? 29 and 30 October for the first level? Cool. I want to launch an attack here. This attack is doomed to fail, almost certainly, but this is to keep pressure off of this area. So I'll just do that for now. We're also wanting to launch an attack up over this direction. Again, likely doomed to fail. But we're just trying to keep the pressure off for a few days here. It's now the 20th. And we're getting really close. These guys have been cut off from their capital, but they do have this naval base here. I'm going to move these guys from naval invasion support over to convoy raiding, so that they're not able to flow convoys from here to here. So that'll be fine. It's now the 23rd, and that's looking very good. Checking in over this direction, they've got a lot in Kerch right now. Now, we do not have these guys assigned to this order. I'm going to assign them. I'm not going to tell them to do this, but I'm going to assign them over. They'll probably do it anyway, it seems. Okay, so up over this direction, we're just kind of chilling for right now. It's the 25th. So we're going to have a naval base done on the 29th and a naval base done on the 30th. So it's the 26th. Now it's the 27th. Now the 28th. And we've got supply flow. Fantastic. So now that we have supplies up over here, we absolutely need to, well, motorize this hub. This is the wrong... I don't want to select these guys. I want to select... This is where the naval base is? Okay, sure. That's fine. We'll get some supplies flowing in there, and that's absolutely A-okay. So now that we've cut this in half, it should be much easier for us. And I want to move this tank army to come and join this offensive, or rather join this front line out over here. So they're going to come up over here, and they're just going to sail right on around, with their goal being to attack here over land instead of over a strait. Now, this is still a strait crossing here and here, so this island is not dealt with at this time. But we're going to get these tanks in here. And we'll need more supply flow over here, I'm sure. Okay, they're heading over. Looks good. And they're going to offensive line straight into Copenhagen. So we're going to do that. Now, they're not ready to attack just yet. They need to get their organization up a little bit more. But once their organization is up, that will be good. There we go. They're starting to attack over this way. Beautiful. And with them attacking by land like this, we can have these guys come in and assist the attack over the strait. Perfect. So, are these on aggressive attack? No, they're on balanced attack. Good. So that seems fine for the moment. we've got this relatively well in hand. I'm going to move these guys over to this front, because I don't feel like we need additional infantry here right now, and having more here would be good. So we'll do that, and we're just busily taking down their convoys over here, and Copenhagen will fall eventually, hopefully. So Europe is still stagnant. Out over this direction, we're trying to make our way in here. We don't appear to be trying all that hard. That's understood. And I'm wondering about when these guys are going to launch their attack. Not for a while yet. That's okay. So out over this direction, ooh. We might be about to bisect this. Commit to that. Hard commit to that. Including these guys over here. Nope, it's not happening. Okay. Well, not yet, anyway. So that's understood. We're having a really hard time collapsing this pocket. A surprisingly hard time. They've got 1 capital and 2 victory points. Or, well, including the capital. They have very little supply flow over here. If we can get American Bolivia to collapse, that would be the goal here. Okay. Well, we're making grinding progress through Brazil, and that's very, very slow indeed. And eventually we'll make some progress in some of these other stalled out areas. But this down here is finished. And I want to grab this unit right here, and we're going to have them come and plan a naval invasion. This is a large naval invasion. They're going to be going into Gibraltar, and we're going to move our fleet from, well, this fleet is in convoy rating. I'm going to grab our reserve fleet here. I'm going to make a new fleet out of this, and we're going to move that down to naval invasion support right over here. So we'll get that underway, and that will be absolutely fine. Now, manpower is absolutely a significant concern. We cannot raise our recruitment levels. If we could, the problem would be solved. But we can't do this. We need to have more than 70% war support or more than 0% surrender progress with estimated enemy strength ratio of 75% or more compared to our army. That's not the case. So we can't do this. Not that we really, really want to. We don't have a national focus right now, and would there be one that would be useful in this moment? I mean, I'd like to get some sort of a recruitment thing going on here. But none of these are all that useful, so I think our political power is more useful than anything else. I do want to check in on the status of our prospecting. We can expand our iron mines again. We should definitely do that, and we can check here. Yeah, 593 is our current steel deficit. Noted. We have a positive balance of infantry equipment at this point, so that all looks good. Armored trains we're absolutely fine on. We're not concerned about that. So we should have a positive balance of every type of equipment here. Yeah, pretty much. So that looks good. The only thing we don't have a positive balance on is manpower, right? And that's a significant concern, for sure. Our monthly growth is going up as we get places cored. But we're going to be reliant entirely on that monthly growth soon, and we're definitely burning through more than 200,000 manpower per month. There's no doubt about that. But if we can open up another front out over here and just rapidly push this way and take them with the element of surprise, force them to move some troops off of this front, then we can start attacking over here again and hopefully bring an end to this war in that regard. That would be the dream. We will see if that ends up happening. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.